This is my review of the official RWBY Manga Chapter 6. And I'm sad to say that this is the first chapter that really disappointed me. I mean, for the rest of it, the series has been pretty amazing. I've loved how they've done things, how they've rewritten the characters, how they've allowed them to show off more of their personality through their interactions. All in all, it's been an amazing series. This one, they just skipped so much of what was in the original for this one. I mean, they completely skipped Weiss questioning, well, almost completely skipped Weiss questioning Ruby's leadership and the whole John arc, which I guess they could do that one later, but it almost makes me think that they don't have confidence this thing is going to go all the way up to current series, where the John arc here was super important for defining his character, his personality, his powers. Way, way, way down the line. Jesus Christ, we waited so long to see his powers. They are pretty awesome. But yeah, the Ruby and Weiss scene was, I think, one of my favorites in the series. Them arguing, Weiss questioning Ruby's leadership. I mean, they do that here for one page, but it's just Weiss annoyed that Ruby isn't keeping good notes, which, I get. I mean, sometimes you just don't take good notes in class and you need to borrow it from a friend. This still does show the issues they both have. Ruby's a bit of a slacker, Weiss is too uptight. They have super crappy communication between each other to the point where they can't just, talk. Ruby can't be like, hey, Weiss, can I borrow your notebook? Weiss can sigh and tell her to keep better notes. No, it's Ruby stealing her notebook and then Weiss screaming at her about it. Just, good lord, their communication needs work. Like I said, I'm really sad we lost that whole scene. Weiss, being told that she wasn't leadership material and that she needs to learn to be a better teammate than a better leader. I thought that was a great interaction between them and really led to them pushing each other to be better. Ruby pushing Weiss not to be so uptight and have bunk beds and be happy. And Weiss pushing Ruby to try harder, take better notes, be more aware of her situation and strive to be better. Though this scene was... I loved Blake's little comment in the corner. I suspect they actually enjoy it, so let's leave them be. Really, Blake? Really? Almost feels like she's a White Rose shipper right now. Oh, God, Ruby. Just hearing that makes me blush. Or at least she's not over being named leader of Team RWBY, which just absolutely adorable. Alright, so then we get to meet Professor Oobleck, which... Okay, or Dr. Oobleck. He doesn't like being called Professor, if I remember correctly. This guy's intense. I mean, way, way more intense than he was in the main series. And that's really he's saying something because he drank coffee that was also a liquid explosive. Which, a lot of questions on that, but not for right now. There's a John hesitates in answering a question. He's assigned a 30-page paper. Pyrrha beautifully answers a question, and she's assigned a 30-page paper, which I get, kinda. I mean... He's trying to push his students so that they understand the world better, so that they don't make the same mistakes the generations past make, and so they have a better understanding of how to survive and how to improve the world when they go out into it. Though the 30 pages is a bit much. I mean, 5 feels like it'd be adequate to get all their thoughts down on this and encourage their learning. I do have one little issue with something he says. He's talking about the Faunus, and he says, we now live in a society where Faunus and humans alike are treated as people who can coexist peaceably. Still, the gulf has not yet been entirely bridged. And, Black. I mean, I would have been way more upset if he hadn't said that second line, but yeah, the situation's still pretty bad. I mean, they are basically slaves in Atlas, if what we've been told is correct, and he seems to think, there's a little tension between this. No, it's almost a full-out war at this point. Yeah, so, I mean, he's not completely ignorant on this subject, but it feels like he isn't aware of the full understanding of just how bad things are between humans and Faunus. But I don't want to get into a debate on race and all that, so let's move on. Pyrrha's line about the white fangs also concerning, but for different reasons. Kidnapping and murder became part of their radical agenda. From the main series and the Adams shorts, we know that murder wasn't uncommon, in self-defense when they're being attacked, but from what she says here, it seems like, no, they just killed anyone who got in their way, and even went out on missions where the goal was basically, let's go kill this guy. A really big difference between deciding to kill someone who's shooting at you and to go out with the goal of killing someone. It really paints them as an organization that just really needs reform at this point. We then move on to the Vital Festival, and I just love Weiss's expression right here. You look as goofy as RWBY usually does, which, oh my god, that was just adorable. This is a happy-go-lucky Weiss, just loving the festival and all of this. I mean, don't forget, her whole life has basically been, Atlas, almost being a prisoner of her father's will, never leaving home except for the parties where she was a plaything for others to watch. This is her first chance to see a wide world of different cultures. But, of course, that limited upbringing also leads to some problems down the road, as in 2 pages later. Weiss really hates the White Fang, and it's really clouding her judgment. She basically says, there's no way anyone else besides the White Fang could have committed this robbery. They're the only robbers in the entire world, even though RWBY fought another robber last week. They are the only people who could have done this. No way anyone else. They aren't even people. They're just murderers. And that guy that stole food, he's definitely a White Fang. He's definitely a terrorist. He's probably killed thousands of people. And I can say that because he stole food. What else do we need to know? He stole food and he's a Faunus. Therefore, he's a mass murderer, obviously. Jesus freaking Christ, Weiss! She's just so close-minded about this whole issue. It's actually really sad. I'm guessing she never actually met a Faunus in her entire life, and her only real interaction with them has been her father coming home and screaming that the White Fang murdered somebody or stole something from him. Though her father's a dick, so he probably deserved it. Anyway, so then we see Sun, who, he's not a stowaway. He's just a guy who dined and dashed because he didn't have any money on him, which feels less bad, like stowaway as a whole thing. You have to plan it, you have to plot it out, you have to be on the ship for days and days hiding your presence. This is just, he went to get food and forgot he didn't have any money, so he ran away. We've all done it. Some of you have probably done it. Let me know in the comments section below if you've ever dined and dashed, and if you think it's worse than stowing away on a ship for several days. I do love this next scene RWBY chases after him, which, she didn't actually do that in the main series. They were all running after her, but she seems to have forgotten right then and there that she's super freaking fast! That's her whole thing. Her whole thing is that she's speedy, that she's moves at the speed of light, basically. And yet she still couldn't catch up with this guy. But, of course, they're distracted when they run into Penny, and good freaking lord, this girl. Spoilers, obviously, if you haven't watched the main series, but she just screams freaking robot. I didn't actually notice it. First time I watched the series, she was a little weird, but I thought, oh, she's the quirky girl. Until, blades came out of her back. And even then, I thought cyborg, not robots, but Jesus Christ, this girl. Her movements, her eyes, her words. Please be my friend. Please be my friend. Please be my friend. They all just scream, I am a robot. I cannot fool anyone. Good lord, I assume this is early model Penny before her AI fully advances, or, she gets enough experience talking with other people, but this is a very bad job of her pretending to be a human girl. And Team RWBY is not nearly as nice. They all disappeared the minute RWBY accepted Penny's friend request. I love Penny's line. What a shame. They must have had business to attend to elsewhere. We then get the final confrontation between Weiss and Blake, which... ouch. Blake's not wrong here, but she's not entirely right either. She basically says that it's because of people like you that the White Fang have to exist. Because you're so racist, we have to defend ourselves. She's not entirely wrong. If people weren't so racist, there'd be less people who want to go join the White Fang to fight for their rights. But at the same time, the White Fang is making more people racist because it's painting the myth that all the Faunus are violent, evil monsters who are just killing for fun. So, yeah, it's basically just a cycle. Because people are racist, the White Fang exists and does acts of violence. And because the White Fang does acts of violence, people become racist, which causes the White Fang to do more acts of violence, which causes more people to become racist. And so on for all of eternity. But Weiss is clearly not fully aware of the situation right here. I mean, she's like, they attacked my father's company for no reason. I mean, we're just trying to do good, honest business here, and they're just trying to steal from us. They're monsters. I'm guessing she's not fully aware of the fact that her father basically owns the Faunus as slaves, forcing them to inhuman labor and probably killing them. And certainly covering up their deaths. But yeah, so then they're nothing but murderers. We only ever want to be treated equally. So Blake basically admits that she's not only a Faunus member of the White Fang, and then she runs away. Which now I'm actually kind of glad Ruby's not here because Ruby could really, catch her. I mean, again, that didn't make much sense in the main series where Blake ran away and they tried to chase after her and they just can't catch her. I mean, I know she's sneaky, but Ruby literally goes like Mach 5, so not like she would have any trouble catching her at least. So then Blake takes off her ribbon and we see her ears and they look way more distinctive than they do in the main series. They even have white fur, which is just absolutely adorable and I love them. They're also like much bigger, I think. Kind of amazed that little ribbon could actually cover them completely. Also have to wonder how tightly she had to tie it every day just to make sure it really wouldn't come off even in the midst of combat. Which I think would have been actually funnier, if it just came off while they were fighting a Grimm and then she ran away. But, I like this interaction. And I do hope it leads to better interaction next chapter or the chapter after that. Because Weiss basically just shrugged it off that Blake used to be a member of the White Fang. And I really think they need to have a conversation about this. I just really do. Because Weiss doesn't seem to realize just how awful her father's company was to the Faunus as a whole. And I'm hoping, next chapter, Blake tells her the past, what's been going on, why they felt like they needed to rebel and all that. Well, probably not next chapter. Next chapter, she's talking with Sun and everyone's looking for her. They do manage to fit quite a bit of material in every chapter, so we might even get all the way up to the issue with Roman Torchwick by the end of next chapter. You never know. So yeah, hopefully next week they start looking for Blake. Not really sure how happy Weiss is going to be about that. She's made her opinion pretty clear, being way more racist than she was in the main series. And Ruby and Penny are still far away. Oh my god. That's going to be funny when they have to find Ruby and be like, Blake ran away. Why? Because she's a member of the White Fang. Blake's a Faunus? Of course, Penny probably has X-ray vision. Yes, she has cat ears. Oh god. Penny has X-ray vision! Lewd Penny. Lewd Penny. Very disappointed in you. Alright, so yeah, let me know what you think in the comments section down below. What's going to happen next week? Is Weiss going to want to even look for her? Is Weiss just going to abandon her? Or are they going to finally have the confrontation they never really had in the entire freaking main series? Till then, be sure to like and subscribe, and until next month, I guess.
Peace.